When Meier is about to have a contact, he receives a cooling sensation on his forehead. The communication is telepathic. He prepares carefully. He is usually taken aboard the beam ships, but is unable to describe their interiors very well. There are no words, he says. Apparently, they are totally unfamiliar. The gun is a precaution, due to the threats on his life. The hat is a favorite, one he picked up on his travels in the Middle East. The tattoo he received during a brief stint as a sailor. He dresses well because he can be gone for hours and the weather in these mountains changes constantly. The walkie-talkie is a necessity because he is often left far from where he parked the bike and must call to be picked up. Meier feels that Pleiadians can communicate with him because his vibrations, the natural frequencies of his mind, are compatible with theirs.
Each human on Earth and each human over the whole universe has different vibrations. The vibrations of human is made out of his thinking, and the vibration themselves, they are something like magnetic electrical waves, and they are turning from human to human, from planet to planet, and over the whole space of the universe.
When entering your terrestrial state, we must make an adjustment in our vibrational patterns. It is similar to your adjusting the fine-tuning on your communications devices. In our case, it allows for the clear perception necessary for an exchange to take place.
Switzerland. The time, early spring, 1978. An unusual team of people makes its way to a secret rendezvous. Their goal, a tiny mountain village named Schneebrück. Head of the team is Lee Elders. Based in Phoenix, Arizona, he runs a company called Intercept that deals in industrial counter-espionage. Elders, his wife and partner in Intercept, specializes in electronics. The third member of the team, also a partner and long-time associate, is Tom Welsh. They were brought here by Wendell Stevens, retired Air Force colonel and for over 20 years one of the world's leading UFO investigators. Their mission? To check out one of the most remarkable UFO cases ever reported. One that has been called alternately Too Good to Be True, the hoax of the century, or the start of a new age for humankind. Stevens leads them over a circuitous route, winding through back roads and stopping often along the way.
Why all the precautions?
Well, I didn't want to tell you this before, but this man's been shot at.
Shot at?
Yeah, somebody tried to kill him.
Why?
I don't know, there's some people are spooked by this whole thing, and he's being threatened.
Thus begins what was to become a 5-year investigation. Before it is over, they will be embroiled in controversy and forced to use every resource at their command.
All right, Billy.
left by the disk's tripod landing gear. The grass has been pressed and swirled in a counterclockwise direction. Even a year later, the grass has not sprung back, but Meier knows that the impressions swarm with insect life.
Then I have seen a person who came out of the disk. Person came out? Yeah. I have seen that is a woman.
Mr. Meier, what does they look like?
She looks like a human from this earth. Like you, like I, like human from this earth.
You call us extraterrestrials. You attribute to us superhuman powers. But we are like you. You too are still far removed from perfection. You must evolve constantly, just like yourselves.
After the first wars, we turned what? Oh, okay. We walked over here? And you said you were a doctor? Yeah, then he was talking here for about 1 hour or 1 hour and a quarter, something like that. Did she give you a name? What did she call it? Yeah, she told me her name is Senjake. Senjake, yeah.
Billy, what kind of feeling did you have sitting there under this tree with a woman that just landed in a spacecraft?
I was afraid about these things. I was afraid about the army only because they had stations somewhere there behind the forest. But I wasn't afraid about the disc. Where do they come from, Mr. Meier? They shall be coming from the dark picture of the Pleiades.
The Pleiades, a bright star cluster some 500 light years from Earth. Although the cluster consists of hundreds of stars, 7 stand out clearly to the naked eye. The Greeks call them the nymphs of heaven. We call them the 7 sisters.
What was going through your mind? What did you want to talk about?
You see, my head was full of questions, but the most of the time she was telling me, and I hadn't many chances to ask her something.
Several times we have tried to establish contact with humans, but usually those selected were not women. We were afraid others would consider them liars, mad, would try to destroy them.
You see, the first she told me I shall get the most best pictures of UFOs what's ever happened on Earth. The second thing, I shall go out to tell the truth to the human on Earth, why they are coming here, what reason they have, that they are coming to Earth not to harm us, not to make war, not to bring peace.
Why are they interested in us, a society thousands of years behind them in technological development? According to Meier, we share common ancestors. Their forefathers were our forefathers. We are, in a sense, family.
This is the place where I took the pictures.
Show us how you took the picture, Billy.
Meier takes the team to other contact sites and demonstrates how he operates his cameras.
I have here a small wheel to turn against the picture. You see, on this way I put on my camera. I'm taking this way.
With a film camera on a tripod, Meier can shoot stills with his 35mm camera at the same time.
And then I can start to film. Here I got the movie when was the ship hanging there up. Where the doctor was jumping.
By jumping, Meier means the ship disappears and reappears.
From that out, I always got the electric focus.
By electrical hit, Meier means an electric shock. He also noted a light shift each event.
On this place I had
Meier takes the investigators to over a dozen sites, describing the craft, which he calls relations, and relating the information he says the Pleiadians gave him.
You see here the roads and on the middle of the distance to the road was the ship hanging in the air and bubbling in a very strong wind. In the background of the road was driving cars from Thailand to Bromleyton and from Bromleyton to Thailand. If somebody had seen something about the ship out of the cars, I don't know.
You didn't hear anything?
No, no voice.
But there are other witnesses to some of the sightings. Ernst Keller Müller lives down the mountain from the Meier farm.
Just take a hand to car. And what did you see from here, sir? Was had to see? Von zwei, halb siebten, wo they saw the lights and then they disappeared and then they came on again. That's why he noticed it.
And then what happened? Was ist aber noch passiert? Dann hat er das, wo abgeblieben ist, hat er dann die Ende abgesendet.
The one that had the light going below also went down to the ground. Not all the way to the ground, but the other one stayed in the same place and this one went further down. Isn't that the direction of Schmidt-Ricky over there? Yes, that's the direction of Schmidt-Ricky. Have you ever heard of anything going on over there in the Schmidt-Ricky area? A couple of days later he called Schmidt-Ricky to find out. Did you know Mr. Meier at that time? Lie?
And then behind the forest, it was a little light.
Bernadette Brand, computer programmer.
So, it jumps like a ball. Like it bounces, like a ball. It goes up and down, and up and down. When it goes up, well, the same good. When it goes up, it was white, and when it goes down, it was black.
The nearest thing to a government official in the area was the postman in the village of Schmidt-Ricky.
Have you seen any of the photographs yourself?
I hope it's right, he found it 2 or 3.
Do you believe them?
Yeah.
He can't imagine how you can take a picture like this. He is the kind of a guy who only believes what he sees himself.
Jakob Bertschinger works the farm with Meier.
Okay, he saw the light ball going away from here, but then it stood still, that ball of light, and changed direction, came directly towards him with an unbelievable speed.
My name is Elsie Moser. I'm living in Mittelgrad. I am a school teacher. The first time when I saw it, it was up here with I saw it with about 7 other people. Were you frightened? No, not at all. I was thinking, oh well, okay, now I have seen one.
Guido Husbruder is not a neighbor. He lives about 2 hours away in Austria. He heard about the Meier experiences and came to see them himself.
Have you ever had any experience with Billy in connection with these things that are going on here?
Yes, I have seen a few demonstrations myself, especially at night, and was present at the landing site during one landing, and I saw other things. A lot of things happened in those 6 years.
You have seen things with your own eyes. Did you ever photograph anything?
I was allowed 2 times to photograph at night. As we sat inside the car, we saw all of a sudden to the north, above the meadow, out of nowhere, a fire-red disc, about as large as a headlight.
And then what happened?
Then it suddenly disappeared. Then there was a short pause, after which, at the same place again, appeared all of a sudden a silvery white ball. Then there was another pause, and then the same ball appeared again. It flew towards us, got larger and larger, then shrunk, collapsed, and then, like magic, it was gone. And best of all, it looked like a shower of sparks.
In all, over 30 other witnesses corroborate Meier's testimony. The contacts continue at a furious pace, sometimes 2 or 3 a week. Meier claims to have had over 130 meetings. He has taken hundreds of photographs and has over 3,000 pages of notes.
For a long time, we've had an urge to contact someone who sincerely wants to be helpful.
Her English shaky copied reverse to German.
Schwierig am Anfang gewesen. It was difficult at the beginning. Weil because she never knows anything about this case. She didn't know? No. When did she find out? She says it takes a long time that her killer something from the UFO. Then how did she feel about it? And she was thinking why this happened all to me and asking some questions about all this case. And it was very difficult for Bobby.
Were there times when you just had it up to here and you couldn't take anymore?
She never was thinking to leaving this whole case, but she was crying and fighting against Billy and against the whole case.
At one point, Poppy admits, she was so fed up she burned half the photographs.
Today the feeling is other because she knows very well about the whole case and things about the evidence. This is very important for her.
Listen here. Wow, you recorded that here? My wife recorded this one here, and in the meantime, I've been there down where he's spending lead with the auto recorder. You had another recorder down there. How high was the ship above? About 60 meters. 60 meters. How far would you estimate it is from here? Oh, I think some 300 meters.
The sounds bear no resemblance to anything Stevens has heard before. Meier gives them both tapes of analysis.
How do they contact you, though? How do you know to go out and meet them?
Yeah, that's easy. I hear the order in my head to go to a contact, then I leave the house or just the place where I stay at the moment, and then they will guide me to the place where they pick up.
You say they're advanced technologically. How far ahead of us advanced are they?
They are about 3,500 years in their experiences about technology.
They study us because we represent an earlier stage of their own evolution. They made a very interesting observation at one point. They said that if we could now concentrate Earth's energies and resources, we could achieve all that they can do now in about 300 years of our time.
If you've been in the ship, why not photographs inside of the Pleiadians themselves?
It's impossible to make it because there are powers inside. They always break the door.
He's taken a number of rolls of film, and when they're developed, they're usually black. They've got anything that's maybe like.
So
I so content of those.
why are they here now? What do they want?
You see, they don't come here to harm us. They don't come to start trouble here or war or to overtake the earth in their ruling. They just see us here as their little products or something like that. And they will bring real teaching of the natural life of the spiritual belonging, spiritual teaching, spiritual life and all this.
But they must want something from us.
They just want nothing. Nothing. You see, for the human on earth, it's impossible to believe this, but that's really the truth. They just want nothing from the humans on earth.
The session goes on for hours. To every question, Meier has an answer. The investigators are unable to shake it or to find flaws in his story. Overwhelmed by the evidence they have gathered, the team meets to plan the next stage of the investigation. Getting it on.
We'll leave tonight. Okay, Meier. I think Meier is a very sincere, honest type person. What do you think, Steve?
Has anything changed since you were here?
physical aspects to that.
Do you think it's possible that he's a little schizophrenic? I mean, it's difficult to tell what if what he's saying, the Palladians are telling him, is actually coming from them, coming from him.
Well, we can never prove that aspect of the case.
It seems the same thing. There's a terrific cross-section of people here. You've got a school teacher, you've got a commercial pilot, you've got a businessman, you've got a CPA. They're as good as any average cross-section of society we've got. And they all tested in themselves to their own satisfaction before they ever got this far.
Well, I think we ought to go back and throw the book at this one. Everything we can, top technology we can get involved. I think we ought to let the chips fall where we may and just see what we find. We're going to run down and say goodbye to Meier and tell him goodbye for
Give him my best.
Okay,
We'll see you later.
They've done what they can here. Meier has turned over all his material, but he has one more surprise in store.
Well, we want to thank you for all your time and trouble, fella. Okay, just a minute. Hey, thank you something. What's this?
Maple something.
Metal, apples.
Yeah.
Where did you get these?
I gotta go get those. The yours and she wrote them from, Europe.
Are they extraterrestrial?
Metal samples. The kind of hard evidence Stevens had hoped for.
We got the mobile tape in.
Back in Phoenix, the investigators began to sort out the massive material Meier gave them. There are hundreds of photographs, the 8mm films, sound tapes of the beam ships and the fragments of metal. They know they will have to call in scientists from a variety of fields to help assess the evidence. The task appears monumental. They decide to check the photos first. If these are fake, the rest doesn't matter.
Here we have our image. The ground is below. We'll place this on the platen, emulsion side up, in order to focus on the emulsion.
The first step involves translating the photographic image into digital information, the language computers can read.
We can start this machine from the point which it is at now and scan 500 lines, 500 points per line, at a very small aperture, and watch the result of this scan being placed, digital information keep in mind, onto a display. Alright, over here on our display we can observe what the densitometer is doing.
This microdensitometer is the same one used to help analyze the photos beamed back from space by the US Pioneer mission.
And tell them that we want to go 5 microns between each pixel. Then we'll be digitizing a ½ centimeter square, scanning the first lines.
The digital information will be sent on for an analysis that will take weeks to complete. Meanwhile, Welch and the elders decide to learn what they can of the history of UFO experiences.
But can you give us some more background on this phenomenon? What is this all about?
Well, it's not a new thing, Lee. This thing's been going on for a long time.
How many sightings have there been?
One of the researchers calculated that there may be as many as 70,000 reports in a year worldwide.
Is there anything these sightings have in common?
Okay, there are some common things commonly reported. First of all, they're always accidental. UFO pictures, up to this point at least, are accidental. They happen once and they're gone.
In Stevens' files are over 3,500 photographs of UFOs, some from early in this century. Most were single sightings, some observed by several people at the same time. In Perry, Ohio, the whole town watched a UFO at twilight for 30 minutes. In Brazil, a Navy photographer took a series of photos of a UFO flying over his vessel. Observers at NASA have spotted UFOs at our space launches. Tientsin, China, Woonsocket, Rhode Island, Norway, Corsica, Japan, New Jersey. These are among the sightings that are reported. No one can guess how many go unreported.
Mary, do you have that file that we had on spectrographic analysis that we did?
Oh, yeah, Tom, that's
As
right.
the investigation continues, results from the testing begin to come in as the intercept office begins.
Hey, Lee. Hey, Tom. What's up? Just got this back. We sent this photograph over to Neil Davis. Just got his report. Neil Davis. Physicist, aerospace industry contract. Right, okay. cast doubt upon the authenticity of the photograph. And there's more. Color coverage, color separation. Nothing was found to indicate a hoax. His conclusion is even more interesting. Nothing was found in the examination of this print which could cause me to believe that the object in the photo is anything other than a large object photographed at distance from the camera.
Meier reported 6 different configurations of Pleiadian beam ships. Davis analyzed what the investigators designated as Variation 2. Variation 3 now goes to computer analyst Jim Dilatoso.
This is the new picture that we digitized last week using the microdensitometer that we transferred over to floppy disk here. Have you found any anomalies of any kind? Anything? I find strange things, but nothing that would tell me that someone's tampered with the pictures. Nothing indicating a hoax method or indicating superimposition or anything like that. Nothing that I can find. Have you been working on the grain at all yet? Yeah, I haven't. Well, what are we seeing here? What we're seeing here is that the film grain holds up the way that it should. In the pixel distortion test, it appears to me and to the computer that this object was photographed in the same original piece of film at the same time that the background was photographed. In other words, no overlay.
Hey, Dave, look what I got.
Stevens has more news.
You got to report back to the show. Sound analysis.
He had sent the sound tapes Meier took of the craft to Robin Shulman, specialist in sound identification.
Things he found, some things we didn't hear on there. Such as, well, he picked up, besides the basic sound, he picked up a small dog barking. Of course, you can hear him. He picked up a European police siren. You never heard that. He picked up a crow cawing. How the hell does he pick all this stuff up? How is it? They got a sound bank back there that they match sounds in. They can identify known sounds. Okay, on the sound bank is anything there to match it. He said he can't match the basic sound. He can match all of the other sounds on the tape, but he can't match the sound of the object itself, the emitted sound. Now look at this. He's concluded up to this point that the machine must have been built for a specialized application. Recognizing the sounds from such a machine may be difficult. Also,
Later, Shulman will theorize from the sounds what those specialized applications might be.
4 hertz.
Next, Stevens takes the metal fragments to be examined under the electronic spectrometer to determine their impermanence. Preliminary examination of the metal has been done in Switzerland.
Yeah, we've got little marker bars here that we can line up on each peak as they come up. This one, in case we have silver there. Over here, got some copper, small amount of copper. That looks like about all that's in here at the moment.
big band here is silver though.
The big one is silver.
Later analysis of other fragments also reveals small amounts of thulium, a rare earth element that is difficult and costly to extract here.
This is one of the
Because of the unusual nature of the findings, the fragments are given to chemist Marcel Vogel, an expert in crystalline structures and inventor of many substances used in computer components.
The first specimen I looked at is a metal specimen, which I classified as F1. This is the appearance that it looked at, rather golden colored on one side, silvery colored here. We find that, in truth, it is silver and a small amount of copper. We look at it here, this same area here, under polarized light. What is unusual of this small specimen is both highly crystalline nature and suddenly we come to the metal section as we see here, and it shows a combination of metals that I've not encountered in any normal bit of metallurgy, both crystalline deposits and metal. Now, we, with any technology that I know, could not achieve this on this Earth plane. I could not explain the type of material that I have and its discreteness by any known combination of materials.
I could not put it together myself as a scientist. It's also a challenge because I showed it to one of my friends who was a metallurgist, and he shook his head. He said, I don't see how it can be put together. And we find that in this area there is evidence of machining, that there are striations which look like the sample has been worked mechanically. It doesn't look like anything that we've made here. At this moment, I would feel very much inclined to accept what was given to me as being true. Computer analyst Jim Delatoso has some new findings to show Welsh.
Go back and look at this picture again and get some information about the edges. I discovered this interesting program for measuring the edges of things and comparing it to all the other edges in the pictures based on the relationship of those edges, the width of the edges, and the properties of the edges. So we're stretching the data in the edges so we can count how many pixels wide it is. And it's very interesting what happens when you stretch them out because it becomes very clear. Pixels, these little squares, like building blocks, and pretty easy to count. This one ranges from 5 to 7 pixels wide, this edge. So we have our range here is from 6 to 8. Now what this tells us in looking at all of the edges on the object is, first of all, that it's not a flat piece of plywood hung in the air, or it's not a paste up that was done. It actually has shape to it. And in this case, a very wide range, which has to do with focus. Some of the object is more in focus than other parts of the object, which tells me right off at that point that we're dealing with something of size to it.
With all the data they have amassed, the investigators have also come up with a lot of new questions. While they debate the necessity for another trip to Switzerland, a sudden crisis jolts them into a decision. There has been a phone call from Meier. Halfway between Phoenix, where the Intercept offices are located, and Tucson, where Stevens lives, a spire of rock rises out of the desert floor. Part of the rim of a long-extinct volcano, Picacho Peak is noted locally as the site where the last battle of the Civil War was fought. It is here that Lee Elders and Stevens meet when necessary, again far from curious ears. This time, Elders brings a disturbing message, one that will add a new urgency to their work.
Hey, what's up? Steve, how are you?
Good. What?
Oh, God, we've got some problems. Yeah, I just talked to Billy today, and someone tried to kidnap his daughter.
What? Nina?
Nina, right. God. Billy got there in time. It was 2 men. They were in a car. They used a knife. They tried to force her into the car.
Is she all right?
She's fine. No problems. He fired at one of them, and they escaped. No, they haven't identified any of them yet. The police are working on it, as I understand it.
This happens to people. We've had it happen before. Other cases.
We're going to set up some security measures over there. Get a trail on these people.
I agree. We got to do something to take the energy out of this.
Yeah, we do. We're going to go back. Want to go?
When do we go?
Very soon. Hey, amigo, any phantoms up there? No, it looks pretty clean up here, but I want to check for third wire.
In Switzerland, the investigators start their security sweep with the phones.
No infinities. Everything
shot are almost unheard of in UFO photos. Meier has dozens of such pictures. Ships below a horizon line, such as a hill, are even rarer. In this photo, a Variation 2 ship controls a smaller unmanned drone ship, designated as Variation 5. In one demonstration, a Variation 3 ship exhibits a behavior Stevens has seen before.
We have often reported a yipping flight. We also have a wobbling flight, where it wobbles around a vertical axis.
The bobbing effect, Meier explains, is due to the ship riding the waves of the Earth's magnetic field, much as a boat on the ocean.
They told me it's 7 meters.
One of the most frequent spots for the contacts is over Saddle Lake, a wide valley just 10 minutes from the farm at Schmidtwood. Here, Meier took one of his most spectacular series of photographs.
Between both roads. You can see here is light. It's here, it's there up. Here on the left side is hill. What's happening there behind? The trees here down. That one there. Yeah. Okay, that's what it is. This picture I took there. If you go left side a little bit. Here. Go down. Like this way here.
The beam ship stayed in the area for almost 20 minutes, flying slowly, often skimming the treetops, sometimes just hopping their legs.
It was a little behind them when I took this picture. Just now, the trees are going up in the last months. They are about 1.5 or 2 meters higher than at the time when I took this picture. They were with me. It flipped that place to the left side. Something like, yeah, like this. But then it was moving over there. You see here the smoke tree. There's something there. This one that's up there. Did it come across in front of the trees like this? Yes, yes. You can see there behind left side of this one, this tree, the higher one there. Yeah. And after this picture I got the other one to that position there, further over. Yeah. We got another one here now. Yeah. One in the box. I had to go back a little bit there down, and from there I took the picture. That's the tree there down that you can see.
The investigators are impressed by the vastness of the valley, the steep drops and the obvious difficulty of hanging models from anywhere to fake the pictures. The stunning clarity of the pictures and the accessibility of the site gives the investigators the chance to put the photos through another test.
Billy, we're using this to measure distance. It's the latest in infrared measuring devices. It's actually a small computer made by Wild Hilberg here in Switzerland. And what we're trying to do here, Lee is up there with the reflector, and what this will do is send infrared light out and reflect out of that reflector back here, and this will rapidly tell us the distance, and will also tell us how much higher or lower he is. That's about where he is sitting, right there. Just that, please. Okay, we'll go to systems.
The precise measurements and photos are fed into the computer. The edges of known objects, such as the trees and the hills, are translated into pixels. Since these measurements are known, the number of pixels in the edge of the unknown object, the craft, gives its distance. The beam ship is determined to be just where Meier said it was. Simple triangulation then gives its size, 7 meters, or about 21 feet in diameter. By now, the investigators have made over a dozen trips to Switzerland. The case takes up more and more of their time and taxes their ingenuity. Each test leads to another, and every result is double and triple checked. To test the possibility that the Meier photographs were made using small-scale models suspended like transparent monofilament, the investigators bring with them a detailed model of a beam ship they identify as Variation 2. While Welsh naked eye, some of the photos appear genuine.
Those photographs, they're interesting. They look pretty good. Pretty good.
I saw one difference in them, and that was that those models look white. They don't reflect that silver and gleam like the pictures of them.
Well, look at the focus in it, I guess. What's the... Oh, yeah. Some of them look pretty bad, but some of them look pretty good. I think we ought to test them.
Pictures of the model are not all that good. In the pictures where you focused on the model, the horizon is out of focus. Where you focused on the horizon, the model is out.
You should put them in there for comparative testing under computer analysis. We've got to have that comparison. So when we look at models, there's a variety of things that are different. That object right there is solid. It's one solid color. There's very little contour in it compared to other objects that are in the photograph. There's no contour to the object. Remember when we looked at the other photographs that were taken by Meier, the width of the edges range from 4 to 9. Point of the story, this is a small model. It's easy to tell small models. So we tested that finder sequence, and that came out pretty good. We didn't find any strings in there.
And when we got through blowing it up in the computer, we had the outline of the Mirage fighter, everything.
The incident occurred at Schmalz. Meier claims the jet made 22 passes at the beach. Computer analysis using the information from a known object, the Mirage fighter, shows again that the blue ship is the size and distance Meier claims.
What did you find out from the base? You had some investigation going
They're
on.
pretty tight here on military security, but they won't let us talk to the pilot. We did find somebody who claimed that he found a mechanic who worked in their squadron at that time. There was an exercise going on, and an airplane did come back with the electrical system knocked out, the fire control system. Had to change a lot of black boxes. Big operation.
What about Meier? What are they doing?
I think we ought to put it to him. You know, let's go for the man and find out he's telling the truth and put the bulldog press on it. I mean, this is a psychological stress evaluation test, better known as PSE. What we're going to do is ask you some questions. It's like a lie detector test.
Yeah.
Would you agree with doing this? Okay, first question. Is your name Edward Meier?
Yes.
Would you speak a little louder, please?
Yes.
Have you taken photographs of Palladium spacecraft?
Yes.
Do you write your moped?
Yes.
Do you receive your mail at Schmidt?
Yes.
Did you fake the photographs taken at over satellite of a model suspended? That wouldn't answer. Or wait, the question is now suspended by a string.
No.
Let's do that one more time. Okay. Where do I think? Do you live in Switzerland?
Yes.
The tape is taken back to be analyzed by Bob Phelan, a former criminal investigator with the Sheriff's Department of Colorado and a specialist in lie detection.
Question 4 was the first relevant question he asked him. Have you taken the photographs of spaceships, spacecraft? His answer was yes. He's being extremely forceful, though not deceptive. My opinion on that particular question is that he's being as truthful as possible. Number 7.
found no evidence of deception in the statements about Meier's experiences. Much of Meier's film has been lost or stolen, but the remaining sequences are, as promised, the most astonishing ever released. In one demonstration, the beam ship flies around a tree, which can be seen to sway in the backwash. Once again, slow motion. Even slower. Later, Semyasi brings a new beam ship to pose for Meier's cameras. A variation quite unlike anything he has seen before. She explains, as best he can understand it, the function of the spheres for propulsion of the craft in interstellar travel. The sound of the new beam ship shows marked differences to the sounds of the other variation craft. Meier tapes these as well. The tapes are taken to electronics consultant Niels Ronderwood and sound engineer Steve Ambrose for examination.
The frequency components of the signal. Yeah, what does this mean when they're all together like that?
What you have is you have many tones happening at the same time, and right now they're aligned. Now they're disaligning. They're out of alignment. They're very much out of alignment. Now they're starting to centralize on one. It's not as though maybe before you had 10 different frequencies at random, and then all of a sudden 9 dropped out and you only have 1 left. What's happening is the 10 different frequencies are converging on one central frequency, which is, I find, very interesting. This is probably one of the most interesting things about the tape is that there are,
What's this right now?
very, very many tones, and they're all changing very fast. For a moment there, we were looking in and we have 3 evenly spaced frequencies. See, there you get, yeah.
Yes, would it be possible to recreate this sound?
To be honest with you, I personally don't think so. There are now synthesizers on the market that have oscillators that can change that randomly. Even if you got 9 or 10 of them going, they wouldn't change from those peaks that quickly.
So a significant thing is this rate of change.
Well, and besides, if you were going to create a noise for a spaceship, you'd be hard put to come up with something as original as this. There's another alignment there.
Okay, Lee, what we can do here is
Intrigued by the findings, the Elvis takes the tape to Robin Shulman, who has studied the sounds of the earlier craft.
we're showing this throbbing, modulating beat that we hear on the tape. This beat, or modulation, occurs at these frequency peaks. Each one of these peaks is a discrete frequency. If you wanted to give a visual display, let's say we're talking a motor, it would be a motor, a shaft of a motor with 4 magnetic poles or coils around this shaft. The curious thing about this, it changes from 4 to 5, 6, 7, all the way up to a number that is difficult to discern. At a certain point, you're going to generate a certain amount of magnetism. And then later on, you want a stronger field, well, you're going to select 8 fields. All right, now you're going to hear 8 pulses on the tape. And then later on, you want a stronger field, you can select 60, 32.
Is there anything unusual about this?
I would think it's highly unusual. I don't really see any application for it, with the exception of, like I say, either generating a magnetic wave of some sort for laboratory purposes or maybe in this case, propulsion.
Without ever having seen a picture of the new beam ship, Shulman has drawn a representation of the spheres of